Yo, boom family. So we have had so many questions about midside. My YouTube family have been asking midside. Let's jump right in. Shout out to Kali Magic on this track. Probably be tagging him. Yes, let's jump in. So
I'm falling, girl, I'm falling.
So I'll be showing you how to use midside on this track. When you are approaching midside, you should approach it in a very simple way. See it as something extra. Think about it as if there is no width, there is no midside. Midside does not mean stereo. It doesn't mean anything that is stereo, you can use midside on it. No. Midside actually has to do with something wide, something wider. That's what midside means. That's what it's referred to. Something wider and something narrow. You know, something entirely mono. The side is not necessarily stereo. So let me show you in practical terms what I mean.
Oh, girl,
So let's take, for instance, if you want to use midside and use it effectively, use it on groups, use it on like the boxes where you have so many instruments. Let's take, for instance, this synth. Let's go to chorus, so where you have a lot of stops. Now, I want you to pay attention to something. I want you to pay attention to this. Let me go to this fader. Pay attention to this place. See the left and right. The more it goes like this, the more it goes farther from each other, the wider that particular fader, that particular sound is. The more it goes far from each other, you see the left and right, this guy here, the more it goes farther from each other, the more wider it is. If it is not wide, if it is just normal stereo track, it will not go farther from each other. It will just be maybe a little. But once there is a kind of panning or width on the sound, it will definitely, be going too far from each other. So you will know that this sound is very wide. That's how you know, just virtually like seeing it. That's how you know, seeing it, how wide a sound is. So if you check this guy now, see? There is panning going on here, but there is no like much panning going on. Just little. We can see it in practically here. Let's see. See? If you take a look at this sound now, this very guy, this analog lab, there is no much panning, as you can see. Let me check this. See, there is no much panning. It's just like left and right wideness. So if you take a look at this one, a bit of panning, look at it, look at the waveform, a bit of panning. So if you check any other thing, this guy, this one that is consolidated, there is no panning at all, you see. So just little things, and you have individual wideness on the sound. Maybe during production there, or maybe the sound originally carries some kind of reverb, and that is making the sound, giving the sound a bit of width. If you want to address it on group, go to the group and you pull up an EQ like file filter. Midside does not mean stereo track. Midside does not mean you want to use it to address a stereo track. Don't go and use it on kick and say you want to remove side or bass. So like I said, midside does not address stereo as per se. Midside addresses something that has width. Stereo is different from width. Stereo track is left and right. Width is when you add something that makes it wider. That's when it becomes side. Stereo does not mean side. It doesn't mean when you say side, it means stereo. No. Now, let's take, for instance, you are using this guy. let's address the width information. Now, how do you use it and why should you use it? Because this is the essence of most of my teachings. I always teach why, the advantage, the disadvantage. So now, why should you use it? You are using it to address, maybe for instance, playing this area. You feel the reverb on this entire track, like together. You feel the weight, the reverb and all that. You feel is bleeding into a particular frequency. Maybe for instance, let's use low chord. Maybe you feel is bleeding, the weight of this sound is bleeding to the low end. Do you get? Is bleeding into that low end. So like I said before, it doesn't mean as you are removing it, you are removing the stereo information. No, you are removing the width, more of the width information from the sound. Now, you say, oh, the width of this sound is bleeding into this particular frequency. So I cannot just come now and start reducing everything. I cannot just come now and start reducing everything. So what do? It's for me to use the side to address this side feature, to address the width and remove the width from that particular frequency, which is what we are doing now. So once you cut like this, you come here and you change it to side. You see, even this feature also has stereo, it has left and it has right. So mid side is not left and right, it's not stereo. Do you get now? So you see it has left, so you can actually EQ left information and EQ right information, which makes up stereo. So mid side is different from left and right, it's different from stereo. It's a different information added to the sound to make it wider. Now, if I come here and choose side, it's going to show green. So now, let's take for instance, I feel, oh, I don't like the width bleeding into the low end. It's causing me the clarity. It's causing issues. It's making the sound muddy. So all I have to do is to come here and cut through and listen. See? So if as I'm moving it now, because I have a little bit of panning, and I have because I have a little bit of panning, and I have width information, it will be sounding as if the stereo is disappearing. It will be sounding as if it's becoming mono, but it's not mono. See, as I'm moving it now, I'm feeling the side information disappearing. Now, the same thing applies to maybe you have a lot of, panning in the percussions, in the drums, and you feel the side information, it's maybe something is, too wide in the drum, and you feel, okay, let me try to reduce it using the mid side. You can also come and use the same techniques and you reduce the mid side. Maybe there is reverb on there is reverb on a particular like percussion. You can still use the same method. Let's say drum box. Let's say for example percussion. You can still use the same method and reduce the side information while you retaining the reverb on the middle. It's still the same thing. The most use case for midside or midside EQ is actually in your master. It should be the first plugin, if I'm not, yes, it should be the first plugin. It's very much important if you feel you want to create space. You can come here and say, okay, let's say, boom. Let's play the entire song. Let's reduce it. Make a talk between you know. You don't take my heart to the parao. No, they do me anyhow. Oh, share me now. Make I be your commander. Pick you up and put you in my Lambo. My baby, my gelato. Now, this is how you can use midside EQ in this instance. This particular place, I feel the wide informations, like the side informations, like that weight information on this master is causing muddiness, is covering something. Let me use it that simple thing. Maybe something you don't like in the mix. Okay, let's take for instance this area. You feel, oh, the wide information, if I remove it from here or if I boost it, it's not just about cut. It's not just about subtraction. You can also add. So if I remove this frequency here from the side, it might give me some clarity. Now you cannot consider side. You see? So once you remove it here, let's experiment. See? You see? Once I increase this place, what happens? The reverb increases, but the side, the stereo remains. Listen to it. See? The vocal, the instrument remain. It doesn't, blow up the stereo like of the sound, but you immediately you hear that the sound, the reverb increases because the reverb is the most noticeable width there. Do you get? So you feel, okay, if I remove the reverb from here a bit or from here a bit or from here a bit, the width information from a certain area, that means I'm going to give my sound clarity. The same thing applies to compressor. If you have a compressor that has midside, you can, by at least watching this explanation, you can use it. It simply means when you turn on the side, you can compress the side instruments or the mid instrument. So the same thing, vice versa. If you feel, maybe this high end, maybe this stuff, you feel this mid information, the mid information are kind of, have causing problem here or here. Okay, you say, okay, let me try and remove some information from the mid and, retain that side, the width. So you cannot come here and say, side, mid. You click the mid. You see it's now green. Bring it down and see what it does. See? So because I have those shakers, the drums at the middle, because I have them at the middle. So when I boost the high now, you see, when I boost the mid on the high now, listen to it. See? Brings up those things. Well, if you feel like, in that particular area, the mid is actually too prominent and you want to kind of make it subtle and reduce it, okay, let's do the opposite. See? You still have them, but you see that the shakers, shakers sometimes they are left and right. So as soon as I reduced it, you suddenly hear that it retained the width of the shakers and kind of reduced that middle. You see, and gave the vocal some, some mid-range, See? So it's that explains it. So it's the same thing that applies to compressor. If you have a compressor that has mid-side, toggle on the mid. If you want to compress only the mid, you want to retain the side and use a compressor. Then if you have if you want to compress the side, you can choose the side and compress only the side. It's just easy. Watching this video, it's very, very much easy. So let's go to where we have a lot of side, like this place now. See? This place has so much, has a lot of like width. See? So if you feel, I think the side information is too much. Side information like the reverb, the delay, you can hear them, just, disturbing left and right. So you can just feel, okay. Okay, you say, okay, I think it's disturbing this area on the side. Okay, let me reduce it. You come here, you choose the side, and you just decide, sorry, you choose the side, and you listen to it and reduce it. See? 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 Just try to use it creatively. You know, most people use EQ midside like this. They cut it and they just use side like this. No, it doesn't mean you have to. It has to be cut like this. Sometimes you can boost side. Sometimes you can use midside like this at the middle like this. You can just reduce it like this. It doesn't have to be like this. You get, most people use it like this. Me, sometimes I prefer it. I prefer using it like this. Do you get? Because cutting like this curve, if you see the shape, sometimes the phase shift is not friendly. So I prefer just cutting a little bit of it just to reduce it from the frequency I feel I should reduce it. You get? So let me know what you think. Drop a comment and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.